Call the order of the Lawrence special meeting. Today is January 25th, 2023. The time is 6:30 p.m. and we're calling the meeting to order. Sean, do you mind doing the prayer today?
No, I don't mind a bit.
We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord, for bringing us together today and keeping us safe on our travels here. Keep the citizens of our city safe as we go through this weather, and help us today as we discuss what's best for our city and put forth solutions. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Looks like we have a termination of quorum. We have everyone here, so we have a quorum. On the agenda, next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We have none. And the agenda item is new business. And Kathy, could you read that by title, please?
Resolution number, Mike's on.
Oh, gosh,
Oh, and Kathy did.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Yeah.
didn't even realize that.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Resolution 2, 2023, introduced by Councilor Giles, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana regarding the council's 2022 budget investigation pursuant to Indiana Code 36-4-6-21.
Thank you. Because of, I think, the significance and seriousness of this resolution, I want to take the time to read this line by line in its completion. So bear with me there. Whereas Indiana Code 36-4-6-21 provides that a legislative body, the Common Council of City of Lawrence, Indiana, may investigate the departments, officers, employees of the city, and in doing so is entitled to access all records pertaining to the investigation and may compel the attendance of witnesses and the production of evidence by subpoena and attachment served an executive in Marion County. And whereas to responsibly balance spending with projected revenues, ordinance number 12, 2021, which is the 2022 budget, approved by the council, reduced the mayor's proposed general fund budget by $3.6 million. The stormwater fund budget by $1.85 million, and the administrative service fund by $1 million. And whereas the controller failed to submit the 2022 budget to the Indiana Department of Local Government and Finance, otherwise known as DLGF, within 5 business days of the council's supermajority decision to override the mayor's veto of the 2022 budget, i.e., by November 22nd, 2021, as required by the Indiana Code 6-1-17-5D. And whereas, for more than a year, the mayor and the controller did not directly inform the council that the 2022 budget reverted to the 2021 budget numbers, apparently mistakenly believing the mayor could unilaterally veto a city budget. And whereas, by refusing to submit or follow the approved 2022 budget, it appears the administration provided itself millions more in budgeted amounts than what was authorized by this council. And whereas, upon learning of these events, on December 1st of 2022, the council passed resolution number 16, 2022, and instituted an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the mayor and controller's failure to submit to DLGF and follow the 2022 budget. And whereas, on December 13th, 2022, Through its legal counsel, the council issued a request for investigatory documents seeking information and answers to how the 2022 budget was submitted or followed by the administration. And whereas, instead of responding to the council's request for documents or providing a direct explanation as to why the administration did not follow the 2022 budget, the mayor took the following actions, which the council believes are invasive, uncooperative, and were taken for purpose of delaying the investigation. Point one, after more than 6 weeks of multiple requests for a definitive date when the response would be sent, the mayor has not provided a single document in response to the council's request for information, even though Indiana Code 36-4-6-21, the council is entitled to access all records pertaining to the investigation. I'm going to read that again. Even though Indiana Code 36-4-21, the council is entitled to access all records pertaining to the investigation, and most, if not all, of these documents are subject to public disclosure under the Access of Public Records Act. 2, the controller blamed the council for not submitting a line item budget. Line item budgets are routinely prepared by the controller and are not due to the state until December 31st, thus would not have affected the city's responsibility to submit the budget in November 2021 as required by law. By December 31st of 2021, the administration had long missed the deadline to submit the 2022 state budget form approved by the council. The administration had no reason or incentive to work with the council to submit the line items entries for a budget it never actually submitted to DLGF. 3, the administration blamed the council's municipal advisor, Baker and Tilly, for the administration's failure to submit the 2022 budget. It is the controller that prepared and submitted line item budgets for every other budget year except for 2022. It was never Baker and Tilly's responsibility to submit the budget approved by the council, nor was it Baker and Tilly's responsibility to adjust those line items to reflect the council's reduction. As indicated in the contract publicly approved by the council, Baker Tilly was hired by the council to perform a cash flow analysis. That cash flow analysis, as publicly presented, determined that the mayor's budget proposal for 2022 was unbalanced because it would have spent millions of dollars more than the revenue the city was expecting for 2022. As a result, the mayor proposed 2022 budget would have had spent millions in reserves, significantly spending down the city's savings account, while Baker and Tilly findings that the proposed 2022 budget was severely out of balance and may have been the basis for the proposed budget being cut significantly by the council. It was not Baker and Tilly who was responsible for submitting budget documents to the DLGF. Number 4, the mayor vetoed Resolution 16, 2022, instituting the budget investigation, as well as several other council actions, without providing any explanation to the council in violation of Indiana Code 36-4-6, Section A-2. Those vetoes were later overwritten by the supermajority of this council. Number 5, the mayor ceased live stream videos of common council meetings from the city government-run Facebook platform without providing notice to the council or public, or notifying the public that the council meetings would be archived after the fact on YouTube. Beginning in 2023, the mayor instructed the Information Technology Department of the city to not provide technical support for council meetings with real-time computers, audio-visual, and switch camera support, which exists to allow all council members to see and hear each other during meetings, whether they appear in person or electronically. The mayor conducted an interview with the Current in Geis, published January 13th, 2023, in which he indicated that the 2022 budget reverted, but failed to explain why it reverted, or recognize the administration's role in failing to submit or follow the 2022 budget approved by the council. The administration hired the law firm Kroger, Gardis, I apologize if I don't say it correctly, and Regis to provide an analysis of resolution number 16, 2022, and 17 of 2022. KGR provided a letter to the mayor on January 12th, and they provided a copy to the council's attorney on January 18th of 2023. KGR letter did not address any of 2022 budget issues or provide any documents the council requested. Instead, it alleged that the council did not have a valid contract with Bose McKinney and Evans to provide legal services to the council for the 2022 budget investigation, and that the council did not hire an independent auditor, and that the council could not hire an independent auditor pursuant to Indiana Code 5-11-1-24.4. The council passed Resolution 2, 2022, and 1, 2023, to engage BME to provide the council's legal services. Both of those resolutions were signed by the mayor and are valid. Notably, the council has not taken any action under Resolution 16, 2022, in Indiana Code 511-1-24.4, which is related to the independent audits, which could replace those of Indiana State Board of Accounts in 2024 and beyond. The budget investigation is not intended to replace SBOA's audit of the city's 2022 books, which notably has not yet taken place. The SBOA's last audited the city books for 2022. Thus, State Board of Accounts 2022 audit will likely not be completed until 2024. Also, in 2022, the council funded a salary for the city auditor, but then the administration never hired one to fill the internal position, even when the SBOA's audit reports indicated additional internal controls were needed. Given those circumstances, the council will not delay in hiring a professional accounting firm to assist with the 2022 budget investigation, which it has the authority to do regardless of whether independent audit replace SBOA in the future. Number 9. David Hoffman provided comments of the administration at the January 3rd, 2023 council meeting, which did not address or even acknowledge the administration's failure to submit or follow the 2022 budget. Instead, Mr. Hoffman chose to focus on the council's repeal of general obligation bonds. The council clearly indicated the bonds were repealed in December due to the council's recent discovery that the 2022 budget was not followed. Thus, the council has no confidence that the financial analysis supporting the need for the bond was accurate or complete. No one from the administration appeared at the two December council meetings where the bond repeal was on the agendas. Mr. Hoffman also insultingly suggested that the council was callous about the fiscal needs of the city, the projects that would have been funded by the bond, and the improvements needed for disability access to local parks for children of Lawrence. Number 10, on January 20th, the mayor sent a letter to all city employees which misstated the facts in the law. It did not acknowledge or address his administration's role in failing to submit or follow council's 2022 budget. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, the above recitals are incorporated herein by reference. It is not acceptable that 6 weeks after its request, the council has not received even a single document or any definitive date when it can expect any response. Pursuant to the attached subpoena, the council directs the controller to appear for a deposition under oath on January 31st, 2023, 9 a.m. in the council's chamber meetings room, and bring with him full and complete responses to the council's December 13th, 2022 request for an investigatory documents. Section 3. Attorneys for the council are authorized to issue the attached subpoena and any additional subpoenas and to conduct the investigation on the behalf of the council as they deem appropriate and as directed by the council's president. Number 4, pursuant to Indiana Code 36-4-6-21, if a person refuses to testify or produces evidence at an investigation conducted under this section, the council will direct the city clerk to immediately present to the Marion County Circuit or the Superior Court a written report of facts relating to the refusal, and proceedings will ensue. Section 5. The chair of the Finance Committee is directed to obtain a scope of work for the council's consideration for one or more certified public accounting firms to provide a forensic audit, with the purpose of determining if expenditures were made by the administration that were beyond the scope of the council's approved 2022 budget or were otherwise not compliant with law. Section 6. The council acknowledges that there will be costs associated with this investigation, but the council believes that its fiscal responsibility to the taxpayers and the citizens of the city of Lawrence requires an expeditious investigation into these irregular budget issues. Honesty and transparency are the foundations of public trust, and government officials must set ego aside in order to protect the limited fiscal resources of the city. The council also reminds the mayor and his administration that cooperation and transparency with this investigation will go far to help control costs. The council will consider and make transfers of funds or additional appropriations as it deems necessary to fund the 2022 budget investigation, as well as any city projects that it deems worthy of additional funding that would have been funded through the repealed general obligation bond ordinance. However, the council must first receive answers to its questions and have a full understanding of the circumstances related to the administration's refusal to follow the financial decisions of the council before it makes any additional financial decisions for the city. And finally, Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the Common Council, approval by the mayor, council vote upon veto if needed, and publication as required by law.
Mr. Chair, may I make a comment?
Yes, please.
I do want to note for the record that on my way here, I received a link from Mr. Douthit. I believe the council was copied on some documents. We certainly appreciate that, but since we just received it, I haven't had an opportunity to go through it, and I understand additional documents may be forthcoming. Well, we appreciate that. Since I haven't had an opportunity to review those with Mr. Hughes, I would still recommend we move forward in issuing the subpoenas today, and tomorrow or Monday we can get with counsel for the administration if we need to reschedule those subpoena dates. But at this point, I just don't know enough about what's in there and whether it's complete and responsive.
Thank you. All right. With that, that was a lot there. All right. Can I get a motion for this?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution Number 2, 2023.
All right. Any discussion? Oh, no, a second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Chevlot.
thank you for the theatrical reading of this resolution, which we were just given 2 hours ago, which clearly was drafted by the council attorney who was also hired to do this investigation. I just want to refer everyone to the administration's outside counsel, which factually disputed many of the allegations that you just cited in this resolution. So therefore, I will be voting no, given the fact that there has been many missteps on this from our council attorney and her firm. So therefore, again, thank you for the theatrical reading, but I would point everyone to the administration's council attorney retort to many of these claims that you just read. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a
well,
question, please,
one-
Council Chair.
Will, thank you, Councilor Chevlot, for your reflective comments, and I'm very appreciative of them. Thank you. Councilor Chavis.
Is there another letter from Mr. Bosma other than the original one?
Yes.
There's one we just got this
Oh,
out.
you mean that we just received? Okay, no, I haven't had an opportunity to read that. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure, because the first letter did not address. So when you said the letter, Counselor Chevlot, I wasn't sure what you were referring to. So I'll have to read that when I have an
Yeah,
opportunity.
we received it about a half an hour before we received this resolution.
Right, and last one, the last meeting, I think it came up, their letter came about an hour before the prior meeting, so it's a square dance, which I hope you can appreciate. Thank you, Councilor Chevlot. Any other discussions? Otherwise, I'd like to ask for a vote.
Mr. Chair, could I just make a note for the benefit of Councilor Chevlot and the other members? Councilor Chevlot, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe you may have attended too many council meetings remotely. I believe the state law says you can attend no more than 2 remotely, and that's also reflected in our council rules. I'm happy to check that after the meeting, but simply wanted to make you aware so that you could begin attending in person if that was necessary. Really not sure about the validity of your vote tonight, but wanted to highlight it so it wasn't a surprise.
Well, that's fine, because I can go back and look at the attendance of previous council presidents who attended remotely 4 times in 2022, so that's fine.
It can't be more than 2 in a row.
It's in a row.
2 in a row.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, it's in a row. All right, but anyway, that's not germane to this vote, but we appreciate that. Any other comments? I would ask for a vote. Should we do a roll call vote?
You have to do roll call. Yeah.
Right, because he's on, right. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Really?
All right, so, you know what? Councilor Chevlot, we'll start with you.
I'm an absolute no.
All right, thank you. Councilor Rusamoroff,
Yes.
Councilor Whitfield,
Yes.
Councilor Freeman,
Yes.
Councilor Giles, yes. Councilor Chavis,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilor Denny,
Yes.
Councilor Wells,
Yes.
and Councilor Morris.
What was his vote? I couldn't hear it.
It was a yes.
7-1.
7-1, it's passed. Seeing no other business on the agenda, meeting adjourned.